dreams. And what do they mean? Well, the truth is science has no real answers, only hypotheses. These hypotheses would include representing unconscious desires and wishes, interpreting random signals from the brain and body during sleep, consolidating and processing information gathered during the day, working as a form of psychology. This leads to speculation that dreams could be offline memory reprocessing, in which the brain consolidates learning and memory tasks and supports and records waking consciousness. Processing memories into dreaming takes a cycle of around 7 days. These processes help the function of social, emotional adaptation and memory consolidation. Preparing for future threats, 39% of people reported pain dreams. Of those experiencing pain dreams, 30% of the total dreams were pain related. Patients with pain dreams showed evidence of reduced sleep, more nightmares, higher intake of anxiolytic medicine, and higher scores on the impact of the event scale. Patients with pain dreams also had a tendency to report more intense pain during therapeutic procedures. Cognitive simulation of real-life experiences as dreaming is a subsystem of waking default network, the part of the mind active during daydreaming. Events experienced while asleep are said to feature in 1 to 2% of dreams reported, although 65% of dream reports reflect aspects of recent waking life experience. Having developed capacities reflecting unconscious mental function in a psychoanalytical way, a unique state of consciousness that incorporates experience of the past, processing the past, and preparation for the future. A psychological space where overwhelming, contradictory, or highly complex notions can be brought together by the dreaming ego, notions that would be unsettling while awake, serving the need for psychological balance and equilibrium. The right and left-hand hemispheres of the brain seem to contribute in different ways to dream formation. Researchers of one study concluded that the left hemisphere seems to provide dream origin, while the right hemisphere provides dream vividness, figurativeness, and affective activational level. A study of adolescents aged 10 to 17 years found those who were left-handed were more likely to experience lucid dreams and to remember dreams within other dreams. We may not remember dreaming, but everyone is thought to dream between 3 and 6 times per night. It's thought that each dream lasts between 5 and 10 minutes. Around 95% of dreams are forgotten by the time the person gets out of bed. It's often said that 5 minutes after a dream, people have forgotten 50% of its content, increasing to 90% after 5 minutes later. Dreaming can help you learn and develop long-term memories. Blind people dream more with sensory components compared to sighted people. There are 5 phases of sleep in the sleep cycle. Light sleep, slow eye movement and reduced muscular activity. This stage forms 4 to 5% of total sleep. Eye movements stop and the brain waves become slower, with occasional bursts of rapid waves called sleep signals. This stage forms 45 to 55% of total sleep. The extreme slow brain waves, called data waves, begin to appear, interspersed with smaller, faster waves. This accounts to 4 to 6% of sleep. The brain produces delta waves almost exclusively. It is difficult to wake someone during stages 3 and 4, which together are called the deep sleep. There is no eye movement or muscular activity. People awakened while in deep sleep do not adjust immediately and often feel disoriented for several minutes. This forms 12 to 15% of total sleep. The stage known as rapid eye movement, or REM, breathing becomes more rapid and shallow, eyes jerk rapidly in various directions, and limbs and muscles become temporarily paralysed. Heart rate increases, blood pressure rises, and males develop penile erections. When people awaken during REM, they often describe bizarre and logical tales. These are dreams. This stage accounts for between 20 and 25% of total sleep time. Often dreams involve others. Let's call them characters. 48% of characters represent a named person known to the dreamer. 35% of characters were identified by their social role. For example, a policeman, or relationship to a dreamer, such as a friend. 16% were not recognised. Amongst the named characters, 32% were identified by appearance. 21% identified by behaviour, 45% were identified by face, 44% were identified by just knowing. Females more often have dreams containing anxiety than males, although they cannot remember their dreams as often. Girls often dreamt more often than boys about the loss of a person, falling, socially disturbing situations, small or aggressive animals, family members, and other female people they may or may not recognise. Around 80% of those under 30 dreamed in colour. At 60 years old, only 20% said they dreamed in colour. The theme of dreams gives rise to dream interpretation. But for me, the concept of interpretation implies the existence of multiple levels of reality and a relationship between these levels. These themes can be clustered as relationships. Some have hypothesized that one cluster of typical dreams, including being an object in danger, falling or being chased, is related to interpersonal conflict. Eschewal concepts, another cluster includes flying. Eschewal experiences, finding money and eating delicious food, is associated with libidinal and eschewal motivations. Fear of embarrassment, a third group, contains dreams that involve being nude, failing an examination, arriving too late, losing teeth, and being inappropriately dressed, is associated with social concerns and a fear of embarrassment. Individual themes identified would include a living person being dead, a person now dead being alive, arriving too late, being a child again, being a member of the opposite sex, being an animal, being an object, being at the cinema, being chased or pursued, being frozen with fright, being half awake and paralysed in bed, being inappropriately dressed, being killed, being locked up, being nude, being on the verge of falling, being physically attacked, being smothered, unable to breathe, being tied up, restrained or unable to move, being unable to find a toilet or embarrassed about losing one, discovering a new room at home, eating delicious food, earthquakes, encountering God in some form, failing an examination, falling, fire, finding money, floods or tidal waves, flying or soaring through the air, having magical powers, having superior knowledge or mental ability, insects or spiders, killing someone, losing control of a vehicle, losing teeth, part animal, part human creatures, people behaving in menacing ways, school teachers and studying, seeing extraterrestrials, seeing a face very close to you, seeing a flying object crash, seeing a UFO, seeing an angel, seeing yourself as dead, seeing yourself in a mirror, actual experiences, snakes, someone having an swimming, tornadoes or strong winds, travelling to another planet, trying to complete a task successfully, vividly sensing but not necessarily seeing or hearing a presence in a room, wild, violent beasts, and some dream themes appear to change over time. Of course, all these hypotheses come from materialist science. We might see this as a left-brain attempt to rationalise dreams, or a dualist paradigm. But what are dreams within a non-dualist paradigm? Non-duality implies that we are one with the universe, including God. There are no other characters, but then neither is the I. This is almost impossible to fully achieve as we keep getting put back to the I or the ego. But we're able to reach a compromise in how we lead our lives as non-dualists. Because we believe we are separate from the universe, we always seek to become whole, a sense of lack and incompleteness. But there is no special knowledge to help us to become whole, nor that we are not already whole, because we already are the universe. We will soon show them our signs in the universe, in their own souls, until it becomes quite clear to them that this is the truth. It's not sufficient as regards your Lord, that he is the witness over all things. And that's Al-Quran 41:53, Surah Fusilat. Thus our dreams are a collective dream, although it be it that they feel the exact opposite. In other words, we think they're exclusive to ourselves. Certainly scientific dream workshops do show that dreams can be shared. The dream doesn't change our reality, but reminds us there is a collective reality. It's only our dream, not reality, which is imposed on us in our dream. The relationship between imagination and reality is like that of a dream to its dreamer. The dream is not the dreamer, and it is not other than him. Not other than him either. We might see the dream as being like a software program. It's not reality, but has the experience of reality, despite only being a program. Indeed, look at how the apps on our mobile phones now dominate our lives, as though they are a reality. A reality which didn't exist some 20 years ago. Because we are not the dreamer and not the victim of the dream. Thus, we don't need to change our dreams or control them, simply enjoy them. But we can change our relationship to the universe and begin to change our dreams, rather than attempt to change what we see as reality. This is known as lucid dreaming, the conscious perception of one's state while dreaming. And lucid dreaming has been scientifically verified. In this state, the dreamer may often have some control over their own actions within the dream, or even the characters and the environment of the dream. Dream control has been reported to improve with practiced deliberate lucid dreaming, but the ability to control aspects of the dream, not necessary for a dream to qualify as lucid. A lucid dream is any dream during which the dreamer knows that they are dreaming. In Islam, there's a long tradition of dream interpretation, most famously by Ibn Sirin, who lived from 653 to 728. Muslims view sleep as one of the great signs of Allah. A number of Muslim scholars studied and wrote on sleep and dreams. Islamic scholars did far more than simply act as preservers of the antiquity of Greek knowledge, but rather laid significant foundation, translation, interpretation, transference of knowledge and experience, and have contributed to the work in many fields of science, medicine, but including dreams. Sharawadi believes the manifestation of images in dream is the soul, while its main origins are the celestial souls. According to Al-Farabi, dream is the idea created by imagination, and its capacity increased due to separation from daytime activities during sleep. From his point of view, one can become united with active intellect through imagination. Even Ibn Arabi famously interpreted the dreams of the Prophet. Nevertheless, as a non-dualist, Ibn Arabi was using this as an illustration, despite seeing that dreams do reveal something to us. In reality, the entire terrestrial existence of the Prophet, Muhammad, passed thus as a dream in a dream, and that was Ibn Arabi. For Ibn Arabi, what we call reality is a camera obscura of the truth, a shadow of God. This is because we live in a cosmos below the moon, which means that we are misled by the appearance of the temporal, that is time and space. Thou seest the mountain and thinkest them firmly fixed, but thou shalt pass away as clouds pass away. Such is the artistry of Allah, who disposes of all things in perfect order, for he is well acquainted with all that ye do. And that's Al-Quran 2788, known as the ants. Arabi's view contrasts with modern Western perspective, which focuses on psychological, sociological and historical aspects of dreams. It brings into questioning the weakening power of the human faculty of imagination in the modern era as a source of knowledge of the metaphysical and spiritual realms, represented by symbols and images in the cosmos, the world of images and the human soul. Thus, the science of interpretation of dreams is significant in revealing the meaning and nature of existence and reality. The world is an illusion, it has no real existence. And what is meant by imagination? For you, just imagine that it, i.e. the world, is an autonomous reality, quite different and independent from the absolute reality, whilst in truth it is nothing of the sort. Know that yourself, you are an imagination, and everything that you perceive and say to yourself, this is not me, is also an imagination. So the whole world of existence is imagination within imagination. And of course, that's Ibn Arabi. Indeed, Ibn Arabi sees our dream state as being closer to the truth, somewhat able to escape the illusion of the temporal than our waking state. that the everyday world of our senses is but one reality, and a reality which is the inverse of the truth. That we see our reality in our awakened state is not vertical or hierarchical, but horizontal. Sometimes I like to speculate that Ibn Arabi means that our natural state is dreaming, and that our waking state is more dreamlike. That when we awake, we actually awaken into a specific dream state, or a dream within a dream. Indeed, Ibn Arabi sees the relationship between dreams as reality as that of imagination and interpretation. You may like to see this as manifesting and creating, or co-creating as I call it, but for me it's much more profound. And of course all this comes from an hadith of the Prophet. People are asleep. When they die, they wake up.